Rejection is one of a narcissist's biggest fears. They will do everything in their power to avoid this in every aspect of their life. However, it is impossible to avoid rejection forever. And the following is what happens when a narc just flat out refuses and rejects other people's rejection. Let's start with the narcissist goes radio silent. Upon getting rejected, the narcissist will leave or whatever is going on respectively, hang up or stop messaging, and then just go dark and go quiet. Some narcissists who are very non-confrontational, more cowardly, typically those are the ones that go radio silent when anything difficult or embarrassing, humiliating comes up. This is the narcissist retreating, licking their wounds, recovering, maybe even hoovering an old source of supply and doing something to boost their ego. And then maybe at a later date, they'll decide to come back and talk to you. Maybe, maybe not. That's always something that is just really up to them, what they want to do. It's up to them if they want to cut their losses and move on or whatever. However, rejecting them and causing an ego bruise will deter them from hoovering as fast as maybe they would have if there was no obvious rejection. In some scenarios, the narcissist might take a different approach, and instead of ghosting or bailing out and just kind of backing off, they might decide that they're actually the ones in control here, not you. And you know what? They're the one rejecting you. They're the one dumping or discarding you. And the person will usually round on you and give you that very classic, narky, you can't break up with, me. You can't do this to me. I was just trying to wait for the right time to do it. Look at what you're doing. I was going to be a reasonable person. And I always love that analogy because it basically boils down to that good old, you can't fire me. I quit. You think you have the right to do this to me? Oh, you don't want me here? Well, guess what? I don't want to be here anyway. It's so classically narcissist, You can tell that they're trying so hard to get you, to ruin you, to hurt you before you can hurt them. You can see how much their ego needs it. I'll show them, I'll get you. I'm right. I win. You see, I win. Okay, I thought it was a relationship and not a hot dog eating contest, but I guess good for them, right? You win, hooray. Have you seen Bigger Children? Honestly. It can also be the go-to move for a narcissist to just reject your rejection and proceed to ask you out, talk to you, harass you, despite you saying no and you're not interested. They might ask you on a date, you say no, or you say nothing, because silence is a great way to say hell no without saying hell no. You break up, you walk away, you do whatever, you move on with your life, but the narcissist has just gone ahead and made that decision that, I'm not going to accept this. You're not going to dump me. You're not going to, not respond to me, whatever. So they keep texting, they keep calling, messaging, emailing, or showing up in some cases, and they're just flat out not taking no for an answer. There is a level of delusion that all narcissists have. Some is worse than others, I feel. Upon feeling the sting of rejection, they take that in, and immediately narcissism kicks into high gear with excuses, justifications, and delusions. So a delusion pops into their head, and then that's the spin that they put on the rejection. They begin to tell themselves things as they're trying to nurse themselves and make themselves feel better. They say things like, well, you're just playing hard to get. That's why you're not talking. That's why they're texting you and you're not responding. You're so coy. You're playing hard to get. You're just challenging the narcissist and, you're making them work hard to try to get you. They could tell themselves something like, well, you had to say no. They asked you out in public and, you were embarrassed, or you were at work. They couldn't say yes and accept a date when they were at work. That's super unprofessional. whatever the case may be. They can make up those excuses and those justifications and those delusions. Oh, well, my email just must not have gotten through. Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe they have something on their phone where unwanted calls or unknown calls or texts, they just get blocked or they just get deleted. Something that tries to help their little ego get through it as they just decide that, you know what? I wasn't rejected. It was totally something else. If you'd like to share your story and talk with a fellow survivor, you can set up a chat session with me. You can call or just send a text to 833-288-4076 to get information. The link to my website, which will give you the information and let you set up a chat, is available right down in the video description. You can just give it a click and head over to my website, or you can send me an email, bookachatwithjess@gmail.com, and I'm happy to send you information that way about how my chats work and get you set up with an appointment. Now, if you so happen to be dealing with a more confrontational, perhaps overt narcissist, you might get a more rage-filled response than cowardice and hiding and quiet delusion. There's always the extremely popular shaming and guilt bombing that a narcissist can throw at you, and they can do this very aggressively if they want to. Something along the lines of, fine, you know what? I was just trying to be charitable, helping the needy, asking you out. Damn, fine, it's like that, huh? You know what? I see what this is. You know what? This is why people don't even ask you out. Look how unapproachable you are. You're going to die alone. I mean, this is really, really sad and pathetic. You're not even going to give anybody a chance. You know what? That is just like you. They might go on to further, berate you. You're stupid to even say no to me or, again, break up with me respectively, whatever kind of, rejection we're talking about here. So they might go on into a little bit of self-defendy, mode. I'm great. I'm great. I'm this. I'm that. You must be believing some kind of garbage that you've heard about me. You know what? I'll show you. They can become very manipulative and very aggressive and begin to gaslight you and plant thoughts in your head. And somewhere along the lines of, you're rejecting them because you heard bad information about them and that's just wrong. You must have talked to their ex. You have a misconception about them. You have the wrong info. You're not giving them a chance. You're mean. You must have something against them. You're not fair. You're too picky. You should just get with me and stay with me because otherwise you'll have no one. And they can use a combination of those thoughts or even a combination of the reasons that I've talked about thus far in the video. It all really kind of comes down to what kind of toxic person the narcissist is. Are they likely to argue or are they going to crawl away and hide out for a while? And in a lot of situations, it just comes down to covert styles of narcissism versus the overt style. Let's not forget, they can beg you to stay with them or give them another shot in really any scenario. This can even happen in non-romantic settings. They might be let go from a job. They might be told to leave a club or an organization. Maybe they're asked to leave, a bar or a nightclub, a sporting event. This can cause a very childlike version of a narcissist to make an appearance when they're rejected from things. Maybe they didn't get into the college, they didn't get the job, whatever. All these things, gaslighting, diving into their delusions, they're coping mechanisms because of how badly these folks are affected by rejection. It hits a narc far harder than a person who is just a little bit more well-adjusted and not ruled by their ego. Now, nobody likes rejection. It hurts you, it hurts me too, but more well-adjusted folks, they won't lash out, they won't act out, they're hurt, they, do what they need to do, they heal and they get over it. It absolutely still hits our ego to be rejected, but we don't allow it to ruin our life and we don't resort to childish, unacceptable, ridiculous behavior. So have you lived through any of this with a narcissist? Share with me down in the comments below. And how did you react to all of this going on? Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.